We are humbled, I think, by the acknowledgement that has been expressed by some of the members on the work that we do. As mentioned, we are an NGO and we regard ourselves as an intervention. So we are not government. We work with government. There are instances where we received a positive reception from government, and government was willing to collaborate, and we embraced that collaboration. One of the questions was asked to say, who are the 5 provinces where you worked? We started in Limpopo in November. I mentioned in my presentation that the program we implement is embedded on collaboration. So we don't have a sack full of money that we bring to schools. We have limited resources. And in that regard, that we appreciate that the collaboration means government also putting money into the program. We went to KZN, Mzinyathi area. We implemented in the district in 20 high schools. We requested government to come to the party. Government was reluctant. We went to the Eastern Cape, identified a poor performing district. My colleagues will help me with the name, I'm just forgetting the name. The most poorest district in the Eastern Cape. Government did not come to the party. We did what we could do, and we proceeded to Mpumalanga, did the same thing. It is only in the Free State that we were embraced by the department, who was willing to put in their money into the collaboration. I mentioned in my presentation that part of the challenge is the PFMA, which is saying that if you have to work with government, you need to go through an open tendering process, which we respect that. I think the Free State, we went, because you see, the difference, Chairperson, is that we bring money. We're not a service provider who is bringing in expertise. We also bring our own money. I think the modalities within the PFMA present challenges in that regard. What happens when, as an NGO, you bring in money? How are you secured? I think there was an honorable member who asked about whether we have an MOU with the department. We do have access to the Minister of Basic Education. He knows, she knows about our program, and advised us that we should rather work with provinces. And that's why in my presentation, I mentioned that we are seeking the support of the department to help us unlock the relationships with provinces. And whether we need to sign an MOU with national, the committee must advise us to say, yes, sign an agreement with national, then your model will be implemented nationally, and then we can go for that approach. But at the moment, such does not exist. I think there are constraints, as I mentioned, part of it is the PFMA constraint. So if there is a mechanism that can be identified through the committee that can be done, we want to scale, because we think that we have a solution that can be implemented nationally. Unfortunately, some of the provinces did not come to the party because of apparently they had challenges on how they can partner. Now, in Limpopo, we have partnered with the department through the Education Trust. Now, members would understand that the Education Trust is an entity established by the Department of Education to deal with relations that are entailing collaboration with the private sector or with civil society. So that's where we have located but not all provinces have education trusts, and that's the reality. So as we speak, we have tested a model. We think it is replicable, it can be adapted in various provinces depending on the need. But we need to have a vehicle, and that's what we're seeking to say, what is a vehicle suitable? We have the Free State experience, we have the Limpopo experience. So what are the modalities that can be proposed that can then run on that basis? If that part can be resolved, then we should be able to run nationally the difference. And I think I'm presenting this difference because it's quite significant. We are an NGO which wants to partner with government, bringing our own resources. So we just need to resolve what should those modalities entail. And then we can, obviously we work with other partners. We do work with the mine in Limpopo to implement a similar program. One of the advantages that I can share with the colleagues before my colleagues come in is that we have ventured into the infrastructure development space. And recently we built a school in Kroonstad, funded by De Beers for 21 million, fully functional, with all equipment, grade R, nutrition center, computers. And we know that that infrastructure could have been priced different. But because we're not caught in this red tape, which sometimes undermines the quality and the process, we are able to then render infrastructure at a cheaper price. So there was a question about our capability. Obviously, as an NGO, as a small entity with limited resources, by the way, I should not create this impression that we are moneyed and have all the resources. We don't. So we work with partnership collaborations, strategic organizations that we bring on board to implement programs. So on that basis, we are able to come to the party. The delivery of basic education is the competence of the Department of Education, of Basic Education. We can only come in to support the process. We don't want to take it over. So that's why even in where we're implementing, we are constrained because we cannot, for example, insist that certain things should be done because we're not department. So our collaboration with the department is fundamental. And it is that collaboration that is enabling us to change the circumstances in the schools, collaborate with communities, and use our own expertise to change the circumstances and the experiences of our children. So what lies at the center, the heartbeat of our program, is to say, how do we help department? And I want to underline this. How do we help the Department of Basic Education to improve the quality of education? So it's not us rolling out a national program because we don't have the capability. We don't have the capacity. So it is in partnership with the department. So that's why we were saying, how can the committee help us to unlock those constraints that we're facing so that we can use the legitimacy of our success to access those provinces that are appropriate for me. We are aware of them, and we can, as at tomorrow, start those engagements. But department has been reluctant. I mean, someone mentions the Northern Cape. We spoke to the Northern Cape, and they were just at the verge of starting implementation. But department apparently had its own internal challenges, and we appreciate that. I mean, we're not necessarily suggesting that we should be treated different. All we're saying is that here we are, willing and capable, and have a model that we have designed over a period of time, and we want to share with the department, and let's look at modalities suitable. Let me stop there, Chairperson, and maybe check with my colleagues if, with your permission, of course, that they can maybe address other questions that I might not have addressed. Thank you.
Thank you, Themba. I'll ask Cesar to respond to the issue of maths and science, And I think another area around systemic teachers.
Thank you. Thank you, Mankodi. Thank you, Mankodi. And I will talk to the issue of mathematics and physical science. I am talking to that because as we're doing curriculum development, we are not intervening in all the subjects in the curriculum. When it comes to secondary schools, specifically for the question that is asked on mathematics, including the intermediate, the senior phase, and the foundation phase, we are biased to mathematics. We are also biased to physical science. Our discovery is that currently mathematics teachers, they don't help learners to engage with the mathematical ideas, with the meanings, the conventions, including the practices that are there in mathematics, but instead they teach recipes to learners. Why are they doing that? They are doing that through making examples. You'll find that the teacher focuses on looking into previous question papers rather than focusing on a concept so that the learner can understand the concept and be able to apply it in any question that is given. So for us, it is more important as we support teachers who are teacher-centric. We are supporting teachers so that they are understanding the concepts, but not only for themselves, they are helping learners to understand the concept and be able to respond either to questions, not only a particular question just to pass examinations as a tick box, but also for making sure those that it's part of a concept learned, not for now, but for lifelong learning. And we also embed our support on the lead teacher concept, because these are the teachers that, as we support, we work with schools, are the teachers that they move to a level of proficiency in their delivery of curriculum. Therefore, they become part of the system. In fact, they become a second tier to the subject advisors because they are able to do the support that subject advisors should be doing within the school. We have put in initiatives to encourage and ignite the love of mathematics. And we're just load shaded, but we'll be fine. So just igniting the love of mathematics. We've got initiatives that we have put in. We have done what we call a maths campaign, a Maths for All. We have done a maths competitions in the Free State where we've partnered with ESCOM Foundation to make sure that we ignite the mathematics. We've put in what we call mathematics dates and physical science dates, but we've got this